we have such an amazing artist of the week each week. But I think the thread that unites us all when there's a common theme, there's a common color, there's a common energy that comes together when we're putting the pieces, always just makes my jaw drop. It's amazing.
It feels like you are connecting because each time on each painting, it feels like you really capture also the spirit of the artist. So it feels like you're channeling.
I was thinking about what was my personal journey. It took me to some very beautiful place about discovering myself, finding capacities in myself that I didn't have. My intention for participation in here, besides a lot of other things, is not to become an artist. I just wanted to be with a group of people and sharing the collective aspect of what we do. And so, yes, it did. It really taken me to a place that I absolutely could not even before dream about going. It's a kind of a portal that opens at a time that I can enter it, and the portal knows when to open itself to myself, to me. And then there are times that it closes, and then again it opens. So I'm going through a beautiful journey, and I see it in everybody's work. That is an indication. The works are just like unbelievable. How everybody's work has just taken. I guess it. I guess this is pretty much like what it is. You see how the portal of light has opened up to me, that had evolved into what they are today. So I know that everybody's going through some sort of a journey because I can see the result of it.
This is very obvious that you found a portal because I think that your work is unbelievably beautiful and inspired. And I was very interested in that you found that portal because somehow I was just wondering, is it just like the portal found you, just like be receptive, or do you have like a process that you go into a state, or is it just, does it feel like it's just
A portal has opened in my heart towards something, and that relates a lot about the situation with women is my focus, without wanting to be a focus. So whenever I do anything, any kind of a work for the group, because I do creative expressive therapy with most of my clients. But what I do in here is that in here I have a freedom that I don't in my work, in my self-expression. And this freedom that I have in here, because I just let it come as it comes, it always takes me to my focus, which is freedom of the women all over the world. And so it just comes. I just love this journey that I'm on. It is the best that I've had, for years. It's just, my soul is just dancing all the time.
I feel like, yeah, this season, especially you had a breakthrough, just because you always have such a way of taking the artist of the week, taking that inspiration and really making it your light, making it your vision. And it's just wonderful to feel all the breakthrough and all the peace and all the power in this piece, especially.
yes.
Yeah, the inspiration has been absolutely, unbelievably showering me.
So I don't know how many sessions I've been in. It hasn't been like as many as probably most of y'all have been in, but there has been a profound change that I've seen, like even since I've been here. And I think that once you start on that inspirational wave where you start to see other people's activations or like the divine transmissions that are coming through their artwork, it carries you too and it lifts you up. And this is why I feel like this kind of group is really important, because when you feel safe, a lot of us may have been from backgrounds where we don't feel safe, or just as women in general. It doesn't have to be just women, but this group has supported each other in a non-harsh, critical way and instead enveloping and providing almost like a womb of a safe space. And I feel like we're starting to come out of the womb, but like in the most beautiful, just insanely intense, creative way. But we're with each other. And I think it happens because we're all tapping into that portal actually with you. It's feeling that safety and the support that helps to lift you up. For me, it took feeling that safety and that support. It takes time and integration. And then, like, even for me, I, with you, really exploded too outwards, you know, with the creativity. It's a freedom, it's a liberation of creativity that I've never felt before personally, because I've just been super hard on myself, you know, and I think a lot of us have been as well. But because of y'all and having this support, it allowed, I think, all of us to really come through. And we were definitely tapping into each other because there are a lot of themes that went through the whole class that we picked up on. You know, even just the light, the way that the light was in our artworks, a lot of it was this, not the same, but, you know, just the essence of it that we tapped into.
And I'd also like to bring in the aspect of healing. You know, I think
Yeah.
you all know that this last 2 years has been a pretty profound healing journey for me.
Yeah.
But I think it is for all of us. And, you know, that support is so vital.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you.
And thank you.
And even though I missed the last 3 weeks, there was an ease that came through. You know, it's like I didn't struggle as much to approach the canvas. And that made me very happy, not to mention the fact that I thought the artists that we were studying and being inspired by were super great.
You're such an inspiration and a model for healing. Like, you really modeled it for us. We've seen you fearlessly show up with no hair, with
Right.
your hair back. It's just amazing to see you and just to
Girls.
see you surrender on the canvas.
Yes.
You're a rock star. You.
I mean, this was absolutely a healing balm every week. I think it was an anchor for me, you know, that helped me to get through all of that, because I really could look forward to this. And even though I wasn't always feeling well, I could paint, you know? So it was definitely, it continues to be just so incredibly healing.
I just wanted to touch on your comment about healing, because throughout the, I mean, all of the sessions, it has been like a spirit medicine from everybody's paintings. And I think that that's why it's also important, because we are going on the journey together and we're actually helping each other. It's almost as if like Rasuli is like a conduit for the divine, and he's like spread outwards to each one of us, like rays of light into our hearts and our spirits, and that has opened us up to also be conduits of the divine. And so we're just, and we keep spreading it outwards, so whoever joins, like Catalina is already doing some amazing works, and you know, you can feel that from her works as well. It's a spark of the divine that's coming through. And like, I think I've told Isabella, she's here, right? Isabella?
Yeah, she's here somewhere.
Her paintings for me this session too have been just a comforting, warm hug. I mean, I can't even explain it other than that. Just pure butter. I mean, just soul butter, you know? And I know she's had healing with her own process as well, but it has brought me so much warmth and comfort. And it's just one aspect of all of y'all's healing works that has allowed me to lift up too. And Rurik is actually what really made me jump into the next level, because I had been staying away from Canvas. I'd only been using like a little, well, I do have a larger watercolor pad too, but that exploration and that fearlessness that comes from that, from the support of y'all. And that's why I was so upset the last time, because I thought the last sessions, the workshop, because I felt like my soul was on the edge of an evolution and a growth.
But I chose this one because of the kind of the connection between women and women around the world. I love diversity of culture. I have traveled and lived in Africa and in Europe and in the States. And I just enjoy the diversity of culture and my desire to facilitate and healing for other women, and having fun and enjoying themselves, and around the joy of living. Wonderful to be able to meet other people that are on, like you, all of you that are on this journey. And I believe everyone is on a journey and everyone is creative.
Isabel, I wanted to say something. I definitely seen the transformation in your work. Your work was always exquisite from the beginning, and the technique was always beautiful. It was always like enchanting to see it, but I saw it going from like more and more from inside. You just like went deeper and deeper from painting from emotion. It was not just only now the beauty of nature or whatever you were saying, but really it was really becoming more and more a message. So your painting became more and more profound, the more we went. So, I really applaud you for that, because, your style changed a little bit. The technique and the beauty stayed the same, but, somehow, something shifted, and we can see that.
Can I just say that when I look at this painting, and I can't take my eyes off it, actually, it just draws me and draws me, the power of it. And all I see in it is your strength and your wisdom, and the vibration of love and joy, and the healing, and the vibration level that's coming off this painting is just amazing. The depth and the density.
I definitely have felt a shift, and I think all of us have felt this shift during all of these sessions, but and other things that we've been doing. And I feel that it's so bringing some of that to the world today would be amazing and inspiring.
So I'm going to show a couple more pieces. It was just very powerful for me. It did shift my process hugely to paint this. I didn't paint any of it. It was just channeled. If you asked me to paint any of that, I couldn't do it. So it was a purely channeled painting. I couldn't repeat any of that. So it just came from emotion, really, and it just appeared.
There is something about this work that is more than inspiring. It is actually inviting the viewer to develop the story of that. I feel like that I'm invited to create the story in my heart and in my mind from the way that you've created these images. There's a very strong relationship with everything in there. And I'm trying to figure it out on my own, as a viewer, to find the story. Very strong. It's almost like it's a whole novel, a whole story written with every indication of all these characters or all these relationships. And it's so softly presented. It's peaceful, and yet it is not peaceful. It is dream, and then then it's also reality. And this is almost like the nature of dreaming, of imagining, of feeling, of receiving, all of that.
It feels like it's a soul talking. It feels like it's another language somehow that we all understand, because it's the language of the soul.
After the last class, I had drawn a card from one of Rosalie's decks, actually. It was the Rumi card deck, which is one of my favorites. And it was Sacred Convergence. And it was about basically, soul groups coming together. And I thought of y'all first. Because it's a different capacity when you share your creative works with others, and especially like in a safe space like this, especially the last few sessions, there's been a tremendous opening of the heart in all of us. Like maybe it's because we feel safe enough in this group or just whatever it is, but like that we've allowed ourselves to open up our hearts, and it's coming out more powerfully in all of our works because we feel that. And I feel like Susan and a lot of our artworks, especially recently, have been communicating a light language. Like it is a soul language, Raphael, but it's light language. It's actually from the divine, and
Right.
it comes through, and that's why it's healing and uplifting for each one of us. Like, and I just want to say a thank you to Catalina too, because having new new souls come in here too, and it really helps to uplift all of us as well. It's like, Rasuli's like kind of the gatekeeper there, and he sees how the progression is going. And so the nature of nature is the next step for all of us too, and it's going to carry us forward to allow our hearts to continue to open and to really tap into what is the feeling of nature, whatever is within us, instead of like trying to get technique down. But everybody has a sacred gift of communication in this group. It's not just the artwork it's the translation of your soul, in whatever capacity that is creatively.
Well, I wanted to just thank Rondi because she was traveling throughout this whole session, and she never ever stopped submitting a work. She prepared ahead of time, like just her enthusiasm and her passion and her love. I just want to thank her for sharing the journey with us. And yeah, I know she must be really tired, but I felt this piece was appropriate because wherever she was, you were taking us a little bit there with you.
Oh, thank you, Rosario. Yeah, it's this group to me is there's always been like a outside looking in quality for my life, and it's just because I've moved so many times and so many different family constellations, that kind of thing. And I was always fascinated by the ugly duckling story, and I felt like I prayed for my swan family, and you're it. All of you are it.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Rondi.
part of it is reflecting back to each other who we are, and it's a powerful thing.
And I think that the genius of Rasuli is that he just really found a way to make us all like realize that painting is like surrendering to what want to be painted through you. That is like an act of like we love between the canvas and you and the divine coming through somehow. So just like you just like learn little by little to just get out of your head when you start painting. And so it's like a process of surrendering to the to the beauty and the like a sacred act of like communicating with your canvas and with everything. So this is what I just realized, that somehow for me the portal is like when I'm in front of my canvas, and no matter what have happened, kind of like turmoil stuff happening, and then when I'm in front of the canvas, I'm like, I'm here. So I'm here, just please just go through. use me, you know. And so that's really, really beautiful. And you know, and so I think it's because, you know, Rasuli knows what really matters in life somehow, you know. Yeah, and because he just like, you know, he lived it himself. So, you know, I'm very, very, very grateful. I know that the first time I joined that class, I was just like, the first time he said, okay, just go ahead and painting, you know, was painting your eyes closed. And I was just crying the whole time. I was just like painting and I was crying because I was like feeling like so much like this is exactly where I wanted to be, you know. This is, you know, I've been like wanted to be doing that for a while, you know, and then yeah, I found that place, you know, somehow. So, you know, I just wanted to again thank Rasuli for that. It's kind of for making that space for all of us.
Yeah, Raphael, like I feel like you tapped on something there when like I even started this class and maybe some of us have had this experience together, but I feel like it's almost painful when you start painting because there's a resistance on the inside that has held on for so long to keep everything inside, you know, and afraid of expressing that outwards to anyone else and to share that. It takes a tremendous vulnerability and a bravery to be able to share what's within you with anyone else. And it doesn't matter whether it's light or dark, but it's almost that little, that painfulness of like getting out what has been so deeply held within you, but also those blockages, you know, that have told you no, you know, don't share this with anybody, don't do this, you know, just keep it to yourself. And then like once you start unraveling that, then that's when the process of the real creativity starts and the magic begins. And I think honestly, like, and I've seen everybody's artworks, you know, for the last like few workshops there, and I feel like we have all entered a portal together. And we've just been like, okay, we each have each other's back, and like everybody has exploded outwards in a non-physiological way. But there's a spirit linkage because we are supporting each other and really starting to bring out within each other what needs to be expressed and out into the world. I feel like each person's creativity here doesn't need to just be shared with us. It's outwards because it brings light.
What I feel like is the expression has become for all of us, everyone that is in the group, has become a release. Because once you find the source of all of that, the source of anxiety, the source within, the source of receiving the world, receiving all the vibrations in a way that it creates turmoil in you. And then once you allow your creativity be your guide into letting go, into that is the release. And we need to have it has happened with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have found the courage in more than anything else. We have found the courage to let go and to release. And that's it. That's what the healing is all about.
Yeah, it's like it's not even just our own personal stories that we've been carrying, but it's the rich history of our bloodlines, of our ancestors, of the collective. And
Yes.
we all have been bridging that together to actually help to birth something new and fabulous into this reality. Yeah, I feel like, you know, Kosar, I don't know you personally yet, but letting go from the center, you know, when you're dancing, like instead of thinking about technique all the time, you do have to have that support to begin with dance, right? Like you learn the basic moves, but then once you finally let go, you lose yourself. And that's where the divine comes in. And I'm just really grateful to every one of you because you personally have brought me so much healing, and you've lifted me up and inspired me. And I've gained so much courage this workshop, this session, because of every single one of you. Like, my favorite part of these workshops is seeing all of your creativity, because it's truly inspiring and it has touched my heart.
Mm.
And what is absolutely beautiful is that, sometimes there's little things that appears in your paintings that are little secrets in a way, or, things, but, each time you know that in this group, it's gonna be seen, it's gonna be understood, whatever you put in is gonna be,
I love that. Yeah, your
yeah,
little secret, yeah, is gonna
yeah,
be is safe
that's
here. It's
right.
gonna be
You're
safe,
right.
and it doesn't have to be a secret anymore.
That's right, exactly. That somebody got you, understood it completely. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
wonderful thing. Yeah.
I think so. I think that's what makes it so rich, and I think so intimate in a way that it's like, oh wow, we're willing to be seen and really to be there.